Hey yo, I know I said that we were gonna be doing Heathen's next 21 Pilots track, but forgot that I had a Patreon request for this track. So, roll it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Channel's name is The Third Ernest. I'm Ernest Adiano the Third. Y'all guys are the third family. If you're new here and you're not subscribed and you like what you see at the end of the video, consider becoming part of the family, clicking the subscribe button bottom right hand corner. Now this Patreon request comes courtesy of, I don't even remember anybody's name that's in the Discord because all I remember them is by their Discord name. So Discord user Jake from State Farm, which is no longer Jake from State Farm because the mods changed his name so many times, but I remember that was the original name. So Jake, I appreciate your Patreon subscription and I appreciate the request, man. I told you I was gonna get to it, so here we are. And for everybody else, as you can see, we got Kitchen Sink on deck. And to be honest, I'm not really too familiar with anything before Blurryface. Like before that album, Blurryface and Trench, I haven't really gone too far back into their catalog, into the other two albums or two or three albums. Anyway, any of their other albums that they put out before these most recent two. So I'm pretty excited for this because I know that their sound changes so much between albums. That's the kind of shit that I like. So follow your boy on Instagram and on Twitter at TheThirdErnest, just like the channel. Links down in the description below. And we got Kitchen Sink. I got the lyric video so that way everybody can see what the lyrics are. Let's get it. This is from their Regional at Best, right? Like that album. I don't even know. I think that was their, if I'm not mistaken, the very first album. I don't know, but this doesn't sound anything like the new 21 Pilots. Even just in the opening, just in the intro with no lyrics. It's so simple. The beat and the instrumentation and everything is just, they've become so much more complex than right here. That's dope. I love that. If you told me the same two dudes made this and then made Levitate and made like the entire Trench album, I wouldn't believe you. This sounds like two completely different artists, two completely different groups.
Nobody thinks what I think. Nobody dreams when they blink. Because a kitchen sink to you is not a kitchen sink to me, okay, friend?
Yo, oh my God. This doesn't even sound like him. Like it sounds like him, but his confidence in his voice and the way that he like changes and pitches his voice up and down now is so much different. And like the lightness and the airiness and the brightness in the song and like in the production in the background, it doesn't sound anything like what I'm used to. The only thing that sounds like what I'm used to is the crypticness within the first 8 bars. Like, he said, nobody thinks what I think. Nobody dreams when they blink because they blink too fast that you don't have your eyes closed long enough to be able to dream of anything, even just to daydream. I'm my own strength. Like, yo, the crypticness in the lyrics is the only thing that's telling me that this is 21 Pilots. It's crazy. That's dope.
It's not a kitchen sink to me, okay, friend? Are you searching for purpose? Then write something, yeah, might be worthless. Meaning, maybe defeating them could be the beginning of your meaning, friend.
Yo, it's so different, but it's so much the same at the core. Like the bones and like the foundational elements of who 21 Pilots is now. They might be more refined, they might be more big time, they might be a global artist and global group now, but like just what he's saying in the lyrics is true to who they are at the core. That's dope. He's basically saying like, don't be afraid to do shit and don't be afraid to like put something down that you might not like. The fact that you're even putting anything down is a step forward in the right direction because the words might be meaningless, the painting might be wordless, but eventually you're gonna hit your stride and you're gonna become who you wanna be. Pointless curses, nonsense verses, you'll see your purpose start to surface. Yo, that's dope. No one is dealing with your demons, meaning if you defeat them, this could be the beginning of your meaning. Yeah, just like the wordplay of meaning and meaning. Meaning if you defeat them, you defeat your demons and your struggles and your burdens that are holding you back. Eventually, defeating them is the beginning of your purpose for being. That's so dope. Like once you release that off of your shoulders, you can become the enlightened person that you've always been all along. The lyricism is always fire. Like even back then, now, even if it's vocal inflection, like the way that he's saying his words is different. It's like, it's quirky and it's like offbeat. And I know that's what everybody loves about them. But the lyrics just mean so much. This is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be because I was already putting it in my mind like, okay, this is their very first album. It's good enough for everybody to see potential, but how good could it be compared to who they are now? And it's just as good, but in a different way. It's crazy. Okay, one thing I will say, and I don't know if this is just because their production has gotten more honed in and more refined, and just because his falsetto here is not as strong as his falsetto. Like he doesn't have, it doesn't sound like he has as much confidence in his higher register portion of his voice than he does now. But that could be because it's like it's kind of being drowned out by the level of the actual instrumentation in the background. And either way you look at it, it's going to be considered growth and it's going to be considered evolution, because either he got more confidence and he got better, he got like vocal coaching and all that to be able to have the confidence in the higher register portion of his voice, or their production style got better and then they made it more noticeable. They made it more pronounced that he's hitting those notes up there. It's not being drowned out. It's not like in the background like it is now with the music. Either way, it's evolution, but I just the voice right here is not as strong as it is currently. This right here, like finding 21 Pilots at this level of their career, this has to be like equivalent to when I started listening to Drake in the comeback season era, in like the So Far Gone mixtape. It wasn't even an album yet. Like that feeling of listening to this in real time, like, oh, these dudes are gonna blow the hell up. That's gotta be the same level of hypeness that I was when I was like, this dude that I'm listening to right now on YouTube, because I have no other way of listening to his music, this dude is gonna be big. And he became that global sensation. And they became that global sensation. So yeah, it might sound hipster to be like, oh, I knew them before they were big time. But yo, own that shit. Take pride in that you were able to find these dudes before the world found them. That's dope. I like this. I like this a lot. The airiness and the brightness of the actual instrumentation and the way that the song sounds is like a complete direct contrast to what they're saying. He's saying like, go away, leave me alone. Like, I don't know if he's saying it in anger, if he's saying it out of fear or out of like panic, like, go away, I'm trying to get rid of you. But like, it sounds very angelic with the way the song is produced and the way they wrote the song. It makes you pay attention more. At least it makes me pay attention to more.
Nobody thinks what you think, no one. Empathy might be on the brink of extinction. Lives and loves it at the same time. Here's my brother and his head screwed up, but that's alright. Time gains moment in the moment when I'm living in a moment.
Oh, is that literally his brother? Because that's not his voice anymore. That'd be dope. But just Tyler himself, he's gotten so much better at like delivery of the lines. Because one thing in rap is lyricism, but the way that you deliver those lyrics is just as important. And I feel like his delivery right here, while what he's saying is powerful and what he's saying is dope, but it's very monotonous in the way that he's saying it. If you listen to new songs off of Blurryface and off of Trench, specifically like Chlorine, and specifically like obviously Nico and the Niners and Levitate, and even my first song that I did by them, even Lame Boy, like the delivery is so much, there's more inflection, there's more vocal change, so it's more variety, so that way you don't get bored with the delivery. And I'm not saying I'm bored with his delivery at all. I'm just saying as a rapper, he's gotten so much better in that side, because he's obviously been very talented from the writing perspective, but from delivering that writing, he's gotten so much better compared to this. He said, nobody thinks what you think. Empathy might be on the brink of extinction, and nobody thinks what you think. So that might be a bad thing, because there's no way that anyone's ever going to relate to where you're coming from, because they have no empathy. That's dope. And then he said, they don't know you in the way that I do, but here's a prime example of a stand-up guy who hates what he believes and loves it at the same time. And then he's like introducing his brother. I hope that that's his brother. I hope it's not just him, because the voice definitely sounded different.
Time gains moment in the moment when I'm living in a momentary sin in a moment past and after a re-beginning.
Yo, time gains momentum the moment when I'm living in them. I'm winning a momentary sinning, a moment passing after. That's a crazy rhyme scheme.
Tending enemies or frenemies, sending me straight to enemy. My bad behavior, but I better could have been a better man. Copy and paste, caught me, and caught better the rhythm, the better I am. But the better, with the better I am. Gambling man, better I am a gambling man. I am.
Yo, he went off right there, son. Like, almost every single word of his portion of the verse rhymed. Like, the internal rhyme scheme is crazy. A re-beginning moments, mending memories, pretending enemies are a friend of me, sending me straight to bending me. He's literally just talking about how toxic it can be, like, for yourself. Like, you're toxic to yourself by pretending that enemies are friends when you know that they're not friends, and cutting people off would be what's best, but instead of doing that, you hold on. My bad behavior, but I bet I could have been a better man. Copy and paste, caught me and copy. Yo, that copy and paste, caught me and copy, that shit's crazy. The better the rhythm, the badder I am, but I bet I battle with him, battle better I am. Gambling man, better bet I am a gambling man, I am. Yo, that rhyme scheme right there is fire. like just hearing that, hearing his scream and hitting the high notes, and he took it out of the falsetto register. Now he's just singing at the higher pitch. It's one thing to be like in your falsetto range, which is like sounds more airy, but right here it's actual singing at that same note, so it sounds different. Side. And then the change to leave me alone, and then don't leave me alone. Because if you leave me alone, I don't know who I am without you. So if you leave me alone, I'm scared of who I could potentially become, because all I've known is you here with me. All I've known is the burdens on my shoulders. So if those burdens leave me alone, I'm kind of scared of who I might be on my own. That's dope. Just the way that he can go into like straight from the screaming into the high-pitched singing. Like it's not screaming and then pausing and then singing. He goes straight from like that very hoarse screaming delivery straight into singing in the higher register. That's crazy. I listen to this, he's like screaming, "Don't leave me," and then alone switches right into like normal singing. That's crazy. I know that the logo has something to do with this song in particular, but I don't know how it factors in. I saw something like he gave an interview talking about how he's not gonna like say what the kitchen sink is, because the kitchen sink is a moment in everybody's life where they come to some kind of like revelation, some type of like push forward even though they feel like they can't. Like he had that moment at this kitchen sink, but he doesn't want to spoil what that moment is because everybody has their own moment. It's like if you saw an abstract piece of art and it's awe-inspiring and it's breathtaking, but then the artist comes in and tells you exactly what the piece of art means. Like once you hear what it means, it'll no longer mean what it means to you, because all you're going to associate it with is what it means to that artist, which is why they did it, and it loses all of its magic power. So I respect the fact that he's not explaining the cryptic lyrics. I think that's dope. Yeah, that right there, I didn't know what I should be expecting, but it's crazy how you can hear the foundation of who they are. You can hear the foundation of Josh on the drums. You can hear the foundation of the cryptic lyrics and the complex lyricism and the singing and the vocal capability of Tyler. You can hear that all so early on, and that's dope. And I know that people who like found them at this stage, like not looking back on it after they found them at like Blurry Face, which is obviously when they blew up, but finding them at this stage when they're diamonds in the rough and they blew up to become the sensation that they are. I know that feels good for people that found them at this moment, because that's how I feel about Drake. That's how I feel about Mac Miller, R.I.P. I was listening to their mixtapes before they were ever anybody. And me and the people who were listening since then saw that potential, and then they brought to fruition everything that we thought that they could be. So I know that that's what you feel about 21 Pilots. And this is a dope ass track. That's it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you see, please consider liking the video and leaving a comment down below. Helps the algorithm push this out to everybody else. If you like what you see enough, like I said at the beginning of the video, consider subscribing, because we pause it more around here. The videos are long format because I'm giving you things to think about. You know exactly what's going on in my mind as I'm listening to this and how I'm interpreting the song. Follow your boy on Instagram and on Twitter at TheThirdErnest, just like the channel. Links are down in the description below. Discord link also down in the description below if you want to chat it up with me. Again, Jake, from State Farm, and whatever your name is now. Bro, I appreciate you putting this on the Patreon request, because I might have taken a very long time to get around to this track. But yo, that brings us to the end of the video. I appreciate everybody that spends their time on this channel, because I know these videos are longer, so I try to make them as entertaining and thought-provoking as possible, so that way your time is not being wasted and my time is not being wasted. Everybody's time is valuable. We can't get it back, so you might as well use it wisely. And I hope that you consider this channel using your time wisely. But that's it for today, ladies and gents. Like I always say at the end of my video, go out there in the world, love and care for one another, love and care for each other, especially in these times. And I'll catch everybody on the next video. Peace.